Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. Thank you so much for all of your support, and thank you so much for wishing me well while I was on my holiday. It was much needed, and I feel refreshed and rejuvenated, so thank you for that. So with that said, I am back doing readings again. If you want to book a reading, you can do so on the website address below. If you haven't got it yet, you still got time, but it is getting closer and closer. That next Mercury retrograde that is going to hit, you can get your retrograde survival kit for half price. That's $19.99 versus $39.99 when Mercury goes retrograde. So with that said, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So your word for the week, very, very interesting. What I kept seeing over and over were pictograms, but on a cave wall, cave art, you know, like the old, and this is my best attempt at, at primitive artwork. It's awful, I know, but you get the message, right? And what it actually represented for me when I went into it, the feeling that I pulled away from it was, this is about going back to the basics. It's about bringing something back to the uncomplicated, unadulterated essence of what something is, right? So this is about taking away all of the whistles and bells, as a friend calls it, taking away all of the superfluous stuff, you know, all of the and it needs and before you know it, you end up with like a 25-foot bouffant like they had in the, do you know what I mean? Like, it's about bringing it back, streamlining it, taking it right back to the basics. Now, as an example, this is terrible drawing, yes, I know, but if you saw that, you would probably think sun. If you saw this, you would probably think moon. If you saw this, you'd probably think man or human or person. You see that, right? It's not elaborate, it's not over the top, it's simple, it's basic, but it does the job. It has the impact that is needed. And this is the message that I got from it. So the cave art was kind of like a metaphor for bringing things back to basics. It doesn't need whistles and bells. It doesn't need to be over the top. It doesn't need more, right? In fact, this week for you, Taurus, the message really is less is more, right? The less you do, the less you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. And it really is that. And something also is telling me to tell you, make observation more than anything else this week. Your destiny card for the week ahead is the Chariot card. It's going to be a fast and funky ride for you this week, I have no doubt. You got the Chariot card, right? And yes, victory, success, all the rest of it. But the Chariot card is when things happen quickly, right? And I kind of feel this relates to this. By keeping it simple, you'll get out of your own way. By being out of your own way and just being along for the ride, you will arrive at your destination probably ahead of time and probably overcompensated for it, right? So that is the message. They are telling me it is clear, loud and clear this week, right? Let's have a look at your direction card. Let's give it some context. And this week you get the Two of Pentacles, right? So this is about, I mean, especially for those of you that are culminating something this week, because the Two of Pentacles is usually the period of 2 years, right? But it also represents grounded, practical decisions. This is not a week for you to second guess yourself, right? And this is a classic textbook case. And this actually makes me now really understand why you got this message about bringing it back to basics. You know, sometimes on an exam paper, they give you a question and you get the answer straight away and you think to yourself, no, I got that way too quick. It can't be that easy. And then you go over it and before you know it, you've convinced yourself that it's something completely different from what it actually was, when your first instinct was absolutely right. This is the message this week, right? You've already made the right decisions. You're already heading in the right direction. You've crossed your T's, you've dotted your I's. The Two of Pentacles is a very Taurus card as far as I'm concerned. It's more linked to Capricorn, but it has a very Taurian energy in my opinion. Two of Pentacles, second sign, Earth, Taurus, yeah, okay? And as a direction, it's basically saying this week for me is very, very clear. Do not second guess yourself. You know what you're doing. You've done the legwork. You've done the prep work. Now you just got to be along for the ride. And the whole thing about that, one thing that a lot of people forget about the Chariot card is enjoy the journey, right? And for me, I'm like a big kid, you know. I've just been on holiday. When I'm on a plane, I'm like looking out the window. I want to see the takeoff. I'm like, oh, can I see anything out there? Enjoy that moment. Be present, right? And this is the message for you this week. You've got to keep it simple. And your insight card for the week ahead is the 5 of Wands, right? When a lot of people are talking at once, when loads of people have lots of good ideas, sometimes that's brilliant. But in order for all of those things to happen, you know, as an example, you know, you can't wear all colour socks. Yeah, let me put it that way. Unless you're really clever and you say, well, I can wear rainbow stripes on my socks, Raph. Yes, you can. But if you said to, I don't know, a room full of people, dress me, they would all have a very different opinion on what suited you and how it could work, right? Too many cooks spoil the broth is what I'm saying to you this week. The insight card is basically saying, take the best of everything that is put forward and see if it is workable. If that seems like too much, streamline it, bring it back to basics. Not just because all of the ingredients on the table work amazingly in loads of dishes, doesn't mean that they will all work together really well in one dish. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I wish you all an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance itself. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.